Do you have a you nasty? Hey my lovelies, it is your girl thesonnislove and I am back at it again with another video. In today's video, we are going to get down and dirty and I'm going to be answering all of your guys' questions that you guys have been dying to ask me regarding my transition. I seriously feel like I have not done one of these kind of videos in a long time. I made sure to ask you guys on my Instagram to ask some trans related questions. A lot of these questions are juicy, let me tell you, and I'm excited to answer them. So let's just get straight into the video. Oh guys, before we start, can we just get into my nails really quick? They're so freaking cute. Let me know if you guys like them in the comments below. I love them. So the first question I get a lot, and I think this can help anybody who is in transition. How do you get on your HRT and did you pay for your insurance? Love you. I love you too. For me personally, in my experience, getting on HRT was fairly easy for me. Thankfully, I lived in a state where they are very LGBTQ friendly. Shout out to my mother. She was a great support and she helped me out so much. Me and her did some research and she helped me find a doctor in LA that caters to trans people. The facility that I went to caters to kids as well as young adults who are going through transition. And they also give resources to people who are in the LGBTQ community who are facing homelessness. And I'm basically still on my father's insurance. His insurance plan in particular does cater a lot to trans people as well. My mother basically set up an appointment with a doctor who specializes in trans people. I talked with the doctor, I got to know the doctor. He took my blood work and he basically just kind of ran me through the whole process of HRT and the side effects and just all the effects and all the changes that will happen to your body. He basically explained all those out for me. And on my second appointment is when he actually prescribed me with HRT. How do you manage anxieties about the violence trans women experience? This is a really great question. We live in a society today where most women are just not respected enough. It all comes down to society and just being a woman in general. And adding that layer of being trans only kind of heightens that anxiety as well. How I deal with the anxieties is to always make sure that I'm protected each and every time I walk out the door. Now, when I say that, I mean by having some form of protection to protect myself just in case something were to go down. So I usually carry a little pocket knife as well as mace. And you really just have to make sure that you watch your back at all times because people are crazy in this world. In one app that I definitely want to recommend to anybody, this is in no way, shape, or form a sponsored post. I just want to really share this app with you guys that I have on my phone. There's this app called Noonlight. It has a big button and basically you press this and you hold it until you're safe. So if you feel like you're in a dangerous situation or anything like that, what you can do is basically hold this button and what you will do is that you'll let it go if you're not feeling safe and it has a timer. So I think it gives you about 10 seconds. And if you do not reply to that text within 10 seconds, it will call the police and it'll basically alert the cops immediately to come to your area. So I think that this is extremely helpful and having these protections with me definitely does help with anxiety. So having those safety tools are definitely helpful and beneficial because you just never know, but you always want to make sure that you're protected just in case. All right, so the next question is surgery expensive? Child, yes, honey. Okay, transitioning is not cheap, baby. Okay, transitioning will literally run you a good check. On average, I would say that in order to get transgender surgery, so basically getting your vagina done, costs around $25,000, honey. Okay, that ain't cheap. Now this is going from male to female. If you're adding your vagina, if you're getting your boobs done, or if you want to get some kind of facial reconstructive surgery, it's gonna cost you a bag. Now getting your face done, if you want the full spill, the full deal, that costs about maybe $25,000 to $50,000. Now, if you want your boobs done, that can literally range from $6,000 to $10,000. So you do the math. That is mad expensive. It really does all vary about who you go to and what doctor you go to. A lot of what people do to pay for those surgeries is actually going through insurance. If you are on your parents' insurance or if you're older than 26 and you have your own kind of insurance that works with trans people, it is definitely very beneficial to get those insurances because it'll definitely help you get those surgeries if you want those surgeries, of course. Y'all need to pay trans people their respect, okay? Because honey, it ain't cheap. How was it for you at school starting your transition? So overall, I had a pretty great high school experience. My junior year, I really was very androgynous. So when I say androgynous, I mean I pretty much looked like a woman already. I did my hair. I dressed in more androgynous clothing. I did my makeup. I was on the cheer team. I feel like a lot of people and a lot of my friends, they already kind of knew where I was going with my life without me even having to say it. Towards the end of my junior year, I would say around October was when I officially came out as trans. So it was a pretty smooth transition and people took it very well, honestly. I would say that I had a really strong support group. I was really cool with the teachers. I was just really cool with a lot of people, and you know, I had a great experience personally. Now, of course, you know, I did have those haters here and there who would talk their stuff, you know, who would hate on me, you know, try to call me a boy or whatever, and you know, just, you know, typical high school drama and gossip that I went through. I never, ever, ever had somebody come up to my face and disrespect me and say anything about my transition. It was always, you know, he said, she said, he said this, she said that, or I can see somebody probably staring at me, you know, whispering to their friends or whatever, but nobody ever came up to my face. So even though I did have a few of those haters out there, I still never let that get to me because I know who I am at the end of the day. How do you get your voice so feminine? I personally to this day don't even know. If you guys watch my old videos, my voice was deep.
Deep voice or not, I ain't gotta change my voice for nobody. This is my voice at the end of the day, and this is me.
It is definitely a scientific fact that taking estrogen does not in any way, shape, or form change your voice or make it higher. I never tried to voice train my voice in the past, so I honestly do not know why it's a little bit more feminine, but I don't know, it just worked out for me. So the next question is, do you ever think about going back to being a boy? The answer to that question is no, not at all. I have went through way too much in my 20 years of living. I have wanted to be a woman since I don't even know how old. It has always been a gut feeling in my body for years on end of me wanting to be a woman. It wasn't like I just woke up one morning and said, hey, you know, I want to be a girl. No, it was not like that in any way, shape, or form. I have always wanted to be a woman since I was young. Being trans definitely does take a lot of hard work and a lot of self-discovery and a lot of confidence. Trans people do go through a lot, so I understand that, you know, living this way, living in your truth is something that is so hard, especially in society where a lot of people are not comfortable with truly being themselves. And a lot of people cannot handle seeing someone being themselves authentically. And throughout all the years and all the stuff that I've been through in my life, I have never once ever told myself, hey, I want to go back to that. Because guess what? Back in the day, I was super unhappy. I was not happy with myself. I was not happy with my body. I was not happy with the way that people perceived me. So why would I want to go back to that? Just to conform to what society wants. No matter all the stuff that I go through as a woman, as a trans woman, as a black trans woman at that, no matter what, this is who I truly am at the end of the day, and I'm not changing for anybody, and this is who I want to be, and this is the life that I will continue to live. Do you feel a constant pressure to look and be ultra feminine all the time? There is a huge pressure on trans women to always look feminine each and every time, because if not, then they are looked at as less than. If y'all do not feel like putting on makeup one day, you ain't gotta put on makeup. If you're honestly feeling like you wanna have messy hair, sweatpants, and a t-shirt, girl, do that, okay? Do not feel like you have to confine in what society thinks. Early on in my transition, I remember I used to cake my face with makeup every single day, okay? I'm talking like every day. Like I had to have something on or I'm gonna feel ugly or insecure about myself. The way you guys see me now, I promise you guys, I only look like this 3 times out of the week. I honestly hated that stigma. I hated that pressure. And there was just this one point in time in my life where I was just like, fuck it, okay? I can still be beautiful without all this. Trans or not, girl, do not feel the pressure to always have to look beautiful all the time, girl. You are beautiful no matter what, okay? Is it hard dating? It is literally one of the hardest things. I'm gonna be real. Dating as a trans woman is freaking hard because you have to deal with so many different aspects and spectrums in men. It's like ridiculous, literally. You have the guy who is super accepting and respectful. 2, you have the guy who literally only wants you for sex. And then 3, you have the guy who wants to treat you right and take advantage of the fact that you're trans, but they secretly want to sleep with you at the end of the day, okay? And that's pretty much all they want to do with you. Men are just like trash, okay? They're trash, okay, period. Not all men, but most men are trash. If you're dating a guy who is straight and who is always used to dating cisgendered women, you don't know how many factors they have in their life. You have to wonder, oh, will the friends be okay if they found out? Will his family be okay with knowing that you're transgender? Will his co-workers be okay with knowing that you're transgender if they were to find out? That on its own is a whole different struggle. Now, if you're just going through the dating phases, it is definitely hard because, you know, you kind of have to maneuver and figure out who's the right person for you. You deal with the men who are genuinely okay with you being trans, and that person doesn't care what anybody has to say. And then you have those guys who literally fetishize you because you're trans. You deal with those guys who literally only want you for sex, or they only want you because of your body parts. And it's crazy because those kind of guys love something that in most cases trans women hate the most. A lot of guys think that, oh, just because you're trans, you're going to give it up easily. You have no standards, no respect for yourself. And a lot of guys like to take advantage of that and try to maneuver their way just to get what they want. When talking to someone, I always try to look at the red flags early on, so that way I just don't waste my time. We just really have to be smart about it. We have to be on guard, and we have to know exactly what we want from these people, and to not let men take advantage of you just because you're trans. We have to be smart, and we have to just know what we're dealing with in each and every situation. Tips you would give other trans girls. My biggest tip I can say for any trans girl who is watching: do not feel the pressure to get surgeries. It seems as though everybody is in a rush to get these surgeries and to get everything done at once. Take your time with your transition. It is called a transition for a reason. You're transitioning into who you want to become. And transitioning takes time and patience. Just because another person has a surgery that you wanted, do not feel the pressure to get it right away. You need to get it at the time where you are ready and to where you are able to do it. And if you are not physically and mentally ready for those changes, do not feel like you need to get it just because the next person is getting it. I do not feel the need to rush to get all these surgeries done. I'm going at my own pace. So please do not feel pressure to get surgeries right away unless you are ready for them. Okay guys, so the last question is, do you have a... I'm gonna be real with you guys. I'm gonna inform you guys really quick. This is probably the most invasive and disrespectful comment that you can tell to a trans person. Would you really ask somebody this in person? I feel as though that's the most disrespectful question that you can ask to a trans person, because you don't ask that to other people, so why ask that to them? It is nobody's business what somebody has between their legs. So please, for the love of God, stop asking that question, because I would never answer that question, okay? Period. Okay guys, so that is it for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys got to know a little bit more about my transition. I really had a great time answering all these questions, and I just love that you guys continue to support me and really want to know about my transition. It definitely does make me happy knowing that you guys love and support me, and I really do appreciate your guys' support so much. If there are any other questions that you guys have been dying to ask me, please comment down below and I will answer them to the best of my ability. Please feel free to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe and click that notification bell to be notified every time that I post. Bye, lovelies.